What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and this week has been crazy. Wrestling is getting flipped upside down with so many reports, and we are talking a lot of all of that went down this week. We got some breaking reports in regards to WWE 2K22 and Daniel Bryan possibly not being in it. The latest update in regards to Daniel Bryan heading to AEW. WWE already wants to bring back a fire wrestler. Superstar cleared to compete. CM Punk continues to drop hints, and a lot of backstage news in regards to him in AEW. Make sure to turn on those notifications and consider subscribing to both of our channel for a lot more wrestling content. So with that said, let's get into it. And let's start off with the latest in regards to Daniel Bryan. We have been hearing the reports over the last 48 hours, and it looks like he is headed to AEW. It has come down to the point where multiple reports indicate that he already signed with them, and it is just a matter of time before we get to see him pop up on AEW Dynamite. There's a lot of speculation that could happen in September in New York City, but regardless of that, there's even more breaking reports, again emphasizing this brand new chapter in Daniel Bryan's career. New breaking reports indicate that WWE have requested for Daniel Bryan to be removed from WWE 2K22. This new report from both Andrew Saria and Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter states that WWE has contacted the game's creators at 2K Games with a memo indicating to not include Daniel Bryan in the game. This memo was sent out to all licenses, so don't expect to see anything Daniel Bryan branded on WWE Shop anytime soon. So this means that it is highly unlikely that us fans will be getting Daniel Bryan in WWE 2K22. That's gonna be a major loss to that roster. WWE 2K22 roster has been a concerning factor of the game for months now, and it's not even WWE 2K Games' fault. It is WWE for releasing so many superstars as we head into the launch of the game. Now, I want to emphasize that this is not confirmed by WWE Games. A situation could happen where they could convince WWE to keep Daniel Bryan in it and make that be his quote-unquote last game. Obviously, they will still need to pay out Daniel Bryan for that specific licensing, but the possibilities are there. We have seen it before. The problem with all of this is that Daniel Bryan is a top-level superstar. It will be weird for him to be part of WWE 2K22 roster when by the time that the game comes out, he's literally probably gonna be the face of AEW. He's gonna be the or one of the top guys in that rival promotion. And we don't know Vince McMahon personally, but based on the reports and everything, it feels like that is something that Vince McMahon wouldn't want. Over the last 2 to 3 years, we gotten so many superstars, so many legends removed because they ended up jumping ship to AEW. Look at Chris Jericho, for example. He was doing New Japan Pro Wrestling, he was doing a lot of things outside of WWE, but once it was revealed that he signed with AEW, that was the moment that WWE decided to stop including him as one of the legends. And with AEW becoming more and more popular, it feels like a lot of these type of situations are going to happen. The other thing I want to point out is that this could be a massive impact negatively to WWE 2K22. With Daniel Bryan being one of the top superstars and with WWE 2K22 being developed over the last 2 years, makes you wonder if maybe Daniel Bryan was part of one of the rivalries that you get to do in my career. So what does that mean? Does that mean that now WWE 2K need to erase that whole chapter or that whole storyline, or erase whatever else was related to Daniel Bryan simply because WWE doesn't want him in the game anymore? It's not like they could just swap it out with somebody else. There's a lot of works that go into it, so there's a lot of question on what this could mean. Last time something like this big happened was with CM Punk. WWE had no choice but to let 2K put CM Punk in WWE 2K15 because he was already part of the showcase. He was part of the single story for that game. He had a full showcase with John Cena. They were gonna lose that whole thing if Punk wasn't in it. But there was an AEW back then, so the pressure now is probably even higher. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. As I mentioned, nothing has been confirmed yet, and we probably won't get confirmation about this Daniel Bryan stuff until the WWE 2K22 roster is officially revealed, which hopefully happens sometime around SummerSlam, so within the next couple of weeks. Sticking with Daniel Bryan, there's some extra backstage news to discuss. As I mentioned, right now the belief is that he will make his promotional debut for AEW on the September 22nd episode of Dynamite, which is an event that is already sold out, and it is in New York. As for the biggest reason, the Wrestling Observer Radio indicated that one of the biggest factor in Daniel Bryan signing with AEW and not staying with WWE was due to AEW's relationship with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Daniel Bryan has gone on record in the past by noting that he wants to wrestle for other promotions, and this adds up with what we discussed over a month ago, where it was reported that WWE president Nick Khan did have talks with New Japan Pro Wrestling about a working relationship, and Daniel Bryan was a topic of discussion in this talk. Come to think about it, he was probably the main topic of discussion, because maybe WWE was trying to re-sign him while also letting him work for New Japan Pro Wrestling in a couple of matches. Meltzer also indicated that Daniel Bryan has loyalty to WWE and Vince McMahon, and he has a lot of friends in WWE, but at the same time, in the end, the company who had the relationship with New Japan Pro Wrestling was going to be the favorite for him, because as we know, and Daniel Bryan has said it in interviews multiple times, he wants to wrestle other people in other promotion, one of those being New Japan Pro Wrestling, before he has to officially retire. Onto some other news, new reports indicate that Samoa Joe has been cleared to compete. Not really a surprise here, considering that the storyline that he is in right now on NXT with Karen Cross pretty much indicates that he is set to face Karen Cross at WWE NXT TakeOver 36, which is happening on the SummerSlam weekend. With so many rumors of CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, new reports now indicate that WWE is already interested in bringing back Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman will be a free agent, and he will be able to sign with other promotions on Tuesday, August 31st, when his 90-day non-compete clause expires. So WWE better make that decision quick, because apparently there's already interest from AEW to bring him in. Even Mark Henry indicated that he would love to see Braun Strowman join All Elite Wrestling, and it looks like there has been talk of interest from both sides regarding the possibility. WWE need top stars like Braun Strowman right now, with so many people leaving, with them releasing so many other ones, and of course with the live audience being back. But they knew that, and they still went on to release about 45 superstars this year. They're literally putting themselves into a corner to save some money when they know that they're gonna make a bunch of money already with the fans being back. A name we just mentioned, it's CM Punk, and there's a lot to talk about this man, but I will give you guys the quick rundown. There seems to be a lot of smoke to the CM Punk AEW rumors, and in fact it looks like he has either signed a deal or is very close to signing. He's already teasing it in social media. Usually he will shut down any type of stories like this, and this one he has not, so he's playing it through. And Dave Mouse of the Wrestling Observer Radio ended up adding that there are things going on behind the scenes in AEW that suggest that if CM Punk isn't signed, then at least there is an understanding that he is with them. There has been quote-unquote talks about certain dates, which is just another indication that things are pretty far along that he has signed with the company. To add to all of this, CM Punk's latest post on Instagram stories feature a clip of a song widely known as the theme used by the Chicago Bulls. CM Punk's post will only fuel speculation that he will be appearing at the All Out pay-per-view in Chicago in September. Again though, there hasn't been any confirm on all of this just yet. Point is that everything continued to add up to all of this being true, that CM Punk has signed with AEW. Even Ringside News went on to indicate that CM Punk returning to pro wrestling with AEW is a quote-unquote done deal, and the only thing left to do is sign the contract in person. What a crazy week it has been. Let me know you guys thought down in the comments below of anything that we ended up discussing today. And if you want to continue being up to date on all the latest wrestling news, rumors, and reports, make sure to turn on those notifications and subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you guys on the next one, so stay savage.